Hey guys, T-Bones here. Exponents and square roots. Little bit different, but not too. At this point, I don't know what they're gonna do with square roots. It should be okay. Okay. I love that they start off by showing you addition is just multiplication is just addition faster, right? 5 plus 5 plus 5 is just 3 times 5. So if we do multiplication faster, 5 times 5 times 5. That's going to be called 5 to the power of 3, or 5 cubed, okay? So if I had 5 times 5, that would be 5 squared. If I had 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, that would be 5 to the power of 4, okay? So you just count up and say 5 to the power of 4, okay? So these are big numbers, right? 5 times 5 is 25, times 25 by 5, and you get 125, right? And it gets bigger and bigger. Together, the base and exponent is called the power. So you have the base, and you have your exponent, and it's the power. Okay, powers of 3. So 3 squared, 3 cubed. You can say 3 to the power of 2, 3 to the power of 3. But we also say squared and cubed for the first one, and then we just say 4th power, 5th power, 6th power, 7th power, so on and so forth. They do a great job showing this here. 3 times 3 is 9. That's why they call it squared, just because if each of these turn into squares, and cubes is you would get a cube, a two-dimensional object, right? Cool. See, they already got that there. Now that's not too crazy. If 2 times n equals 6, what does n squared equal? Okay, so you would first have to figure out this. Oh man, this got complicated quickly. To find n squares when we multiply. So first off, if you have 2 times n equals 6, remember your multiplication facts. That means that n times 2 equals 6. It also means that 2 equals 6 divided by n. It also means that n equals 6 divided by 2. Now that one actually helps us, because 6 divided by 2 is 3, and so you have n equals 3. Now, what does n squared equal? Well, 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay, so a little bit more complicated, but still not too bad. 4 powers of 10. And then for some reason they decided to also, not only are they teaching you all these powers and all these things, they've also decided to go ahead, and that's not complicated enough, they're going to also go over squared roots. Okay, square roots are how you take it back. Okay, you've gotten 5 times 5 equals 25. Well, just like you could do division, right, you have a square root. Square roots are going to be much more complicated because they're not something you can just do math for easily. Okay, they're not something we're going to ask you to break apart in the same way that we ask you to do division, because they're quite complicated, right? 25 is a perfect square. You could do the square root of 25 just equals 5. Okay, but what about the square root of 24? There are no whole numbers that you could multiply together to get 24. So it's going to be a whole different deal. Now, luckily, you're not going to be asked to figure this out until 7th grade or 8th grade math. So you got a ways before you have to figure that out. So just be thankful. Try not to get older. 36 equals 6. So the way you want to do this is you want to do, well, 1 times 1 equals 1. Okay, 2 times 2 equals 4. 3 times 3 equals 9. 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 times 5 equals 25. 6 times 6 equals 36. 7 times 7 equals 49. 8 times 8 equals 81. 64. 9 times 9 equals 81. And 10 times 10 equals 100. The 11s and 12s will also probably come up. So 11 times 11 equals 121. I forget 12 off the top of my head. These are important to know because if you do this really quickly on the side, or you keep something like this, then when you come across perfect squares. You also, if you have a graph, if you have a multiplication table, all the perfect squares are the ones in the middle. Okay. Yeah, so they do some stuff here. They turn 9 into 3, 16 into 4. So you'd find 16, be like, okay, that's a 4. You see 9, that's a 3. 25, okay. So they're just barely scratching the surface with square roots, but still it's a little frustrating to put them in the same thing. I'll do the lesson practice here for you in a second. I do want you to do the written practice, just 20 through 25 all, so just 5 problems. Okay. All right, so give a shot for this first. It is difficult. If you get stuck, let me know, but come back here and I'll have it done for you. All right, so this figure illustrates 5 squared, which we can write as 5 10 to the power of 2. There are 5 rows of 5 similar squares. Draw a similar one for 4. So, I mean, that's just basically this. I'm not going to draw it. I'm just going to, it's everything outside of this. So it's just those guys. That's it. Okay. This picture illustrates 2 cubed. Okay. 2 cubed equals what as a whole number? Well, you could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 8th one you can't see. Or you could do 2 times 2 equals 4 times 2 equals 8. 2 times 2 times 2. Right? Write your power as a whole number. Show your work. So 3 times 3 equals 9. Times 3 equals 27. Times 3. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 2 is 6. 7, 8. So 81. Okay? Another way to do this, if you did 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, you would get 9 times 9. 9 times 9, we know is 81. 2 to the power of 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So again, that turns into 4. That turns into 4. Okay? So that would be 16 times 2, which is 32. Over here, 11 times 11, it's going to be 121. If 2 times m equals 10, then what does m squared equal? So again, like we did before, 2m equals 10. So there's a number of ways you could do this. Let's just use our multiplication facts, right? We know 2 times m equals 10, m times 2 equals 10, 2 equals 10 divided by m, and the one we actually want, m equals 10 divided by 2. Okay? The other way to do that is to do 2 times m equals 10, and you divide by 2 on both sides, because this is a scale. Anything I do to this side, I can do to this side. That gives me m, because this crosses out, 10 divided by 2, m equals 5. Okay, so that gives me 5, but I still need to do m squared, so 5 times 5 equals 25. Okay, do I have any work on the other side? I do. I don't like it. Write each number in expanded notation. Ugh. So basically all you do is you have a decimal here, you move it over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have 2.5 times 10 to the power of 5. I go bring it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 3.6 times 10 to the power of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6.05 times 10 to the power of 4. Square root 1 times 1 equals 1. 2, 4, 7. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 square root, that's 6, so that's bigger. 5 minus 4 equals 1. Okay. Sorry if that was a little fast. I have a movie to get to. All right, peace. See you guys.